Hello friends. In today's documentary we will talk about the fabulous treasure of Montezuma. How the Aztec Emperor came to mistake a conquistador for a god. The gold rush triggered by the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century in the New World also targeted the Aztec Empire, about which there are numerous legends and stories related to a huge treasure. It would have been hidden by the Aztec Emperor Montezuma in 1520 to protect it from the Spanish conquerors. Even today, it has not been established what exactly and how much was lost or hidden. Most legends of the time talk about the fact that the Aztec Emperor Montezuma II would have hidden a large part of his treasure in a cave, far from the Spanish conquistadors, whose greed knew no bounds. The biggest mistake that Montezuma made was to identify the Spanish commander, Hernan Cortez, with the god Quetzalcoatl. He was revered as a divine hero by the Aztecs, and a prophecy said that he would one day return and claim his rights, including an immense treasure, sacred artifacts, and temple ornaments, which the indigenous population had obtained through conquests or work, writes Joel Levy in the book Lost Histories. Even the Spaniards told in several chronicles that have been preserved that Montezuma welcomed Cortez with joy in the capital of Tenochtitlan, today's Ciudad de Mexico, filled him with gifts and offered to hand over all the wealth of the Aztecs. However, it is unlikely that Montezuma would have willingly given up all the gold to the Aztecs, and historians believe that the emperors sent gifts to the Spaniards to delay them on their way to the capital and to shelter the treasure in the mountains of north. It is recorded in the work Lost Histories. As expected, shortly after the conquistadors arrived in the capital of Tenochtitlan, their leader, Cortez, revealed his true intentions. He seized Montezuma, installed Christian objects of worship in the temples, and demanded new valuables from the Aztecs. Noche triste. Things finally took a dramatic turn when Cortez was forced to leave the Aztec capital to face a Spanish army sent by an adversary to arrest him. In Cortez's absence, his lieutenant, Pedro de Alvarado, massacred thousands of Aztec nobles, angering the natives, who surrounded the Spaniards in Montezuma's palace, Joel Levy details in his book. The Aztecs destroyed the dikes and bridges that connected Montezuma's palace to the rest of the capital, which had been built on marshy land on the shores of Lake Texcoco. The Spaniards were thus left without food and water, and in desperation they released Montezuma, in an attempt to calm the spirits of the angry Aztec crowd. It is certain that Montezuma died, and the opinions of historians are divided regarding the causes that led to the end of the Aztec Emperor. Some claim that he would have been stoned by the angry population after his release, while others claim that the Spaniards would have killed him because he could no longer help them. It is mentioned in the work Lost Histories. The news of Montezuma's death enraged the Aztecs even more, and as an attack by them was imminent, the conquistadors decided to sneak along one of the dikes that crossed the city, but they were discovered. Surrounded by hundreds of canoes filled with hostile natives, more than 1,000 Spaniards met their end after being pushed into the water or simply sinking into Lake Texcoco like stones because of the gold they were trying to flee with in the boats, Joel Levy details in his book. Noche triste, Night of Sorrow, was named after the night many of the Spanish conquistadors died, and some legends say that, in fact, the treasure lost by the Spanish in Lake Texcoco was actually Montezuma's treasure. The Spanish had amassed an impressive amount of precious stones and gold through their growing claims to the Aztecs. Part of the treasure has been discovered. Some of the gold artifacts were melted down by the Spanish and turned into ingots, and some of them ended up at the bottom of the local Texcoco. Cortez later ordered the lake to be drained, but he was unable to recover anything from the treasure. An article in the Mexican press announced that in 1981 a team of workers working at the foundation of the Bank of Mexico would have discovered a gold disc of Aztec origin, and this would have been the first evidence of the existence of Montezuma's treasure. It is recorded in the work Lost Histories. What is certain is that apart from that gold object, nothing was subsequently discovered. After the withdrawal of the Spaniards, the Aztec capital was struck by smallpox, and the grandson of Montezuma, who succeeded him to the throne, would have ordered, according to some local legends, that the gold objects recovered from the conquistadors be sent to a secret place. The Aztecs had reason to fear, because Hernan Cortez returned in 1521 with a huge army composed of natives and a small fleet, and after an 80-day siege, the capital of Tenochtitlan capitulated. The new emperor of the Aztecs, Cuauhtemoc, and his assistant were tortured by the Spaniards, being put with their feet in hot oil to get from them the place where they hid the treasure, but they told them that they had thrown the gold into the lake, just to protect him from the conquistadors, writes Joel Levy in his book. The Spanish checked the words of the Aztec Emperor with the best divers they had, but they found nothing. In August 1976, numerous gold objects were discovered on the bottom of the waters off the coast of Mexico, in the Rio de Medio, near the city of Veracruz. An impressive amount of gold bars, Aztec gold artifacts, and many ornaments were unearthed, and historians have definitely linked the discovery to Montezuma's lost treasure. Another oddity occurred after the objects and artifacts were sent to the Bank of Mexico for safekeeping. 6 years later, journalists discovered that what was left of Montezuma's treasure never reached the bank. It is mentioned in the work Lost Histories. In the end, the travel agencies had the most to gain from the stories and legends regarding the lost treasure of the Aztec Emperor. Even today, they promote all sorts of variants related to Montezuma's treasure, but there is no evidence to support them. Most archaeologists and historians who have conducted excavations and research in various areas of Mexico and the United States believe that the wealth of the Aztecs ended up in the hands of the Spanish, and part of the treasure was thrown into Lake Texcoco, where it is also said to be found today, concludes Joel Levy in his book.